In today's episode of The Tenant, I'm in Mumbai. In Mumbai, I'm in Nepeansea Road, one of the most expensive locations of India. My neighbors are the political elite of Maharashtra as well as billionaires like Radhakishan Damani of DMart. Our tenant today is a financial writer staying on rent for the last 15 years. Why is he doing that? What works and what doesn't? Let's meet him.
Hi Vishal.
Hi Samar, good to see you.
Welcome to my, shall we say compact 2 BHK?
Compact, okay. It doesn't look too compact from here.
Please come in.
Oh, okay. This is huge.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is a little large by Bombay standards, but
big
it's
is
a
it?
2 BHK.
It's a 2 BHK.
Yeah, that's
How
right.
big is it?
It's about, I would say, 1190 square feet, and yeah, it's 2
This
rooms.
is 1190 square feet carpet area.
Yeah,
That's it,
correct,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so what is it that brings Samar to Mumbai?
Well, I moved to Bombay in 2010 when I took up my latest job.
Why stay on rent for so long?
Well, there were 3 reasons. So when I initially moved to Bombay, I wasn't sure how long I'd be here. Okay, so why buy when you're not sure? Then, I knew the city, but I didn't know the city. So I wasn't sure where I wanted to stay. So then again, why buy? And the third reason was that it was unaffordable then. So it's as simple as that. I didn't buy and I just continued staying on rent.
Has there ever been a point where you thought about buying a home?
Initially, yes. So, when I didn't know enough about the market and I didn't know that rental yields were 2%, 3%, etc., I did think, why don't I buy? Why don't I look around? Why don't I? There's that old saying, why put money on rent when you can pay an EMI and own the property, etc. And so then I did look around, but I said, look, I don't want to put money down from my pocket and then have the EMI sword hanging on my head because you just don't know what can happen in life. So I didn't end up buying. But now when I look back, I think that was the right decision because at least in this part of Bombay, capital values haven't moved that much. I think other investments have done better, I would say by a factor of 4-5.
When you said you didn't know much about real estate, you were open to the thought.
Yeah.
After you got to know about real estate, then you decided no point doing it.
I decided no point doing it.
So tell me, why are you staying in this area? This is, of course, one of the most expensive areas of Mumbai. You have all the heavyweights, both political as well as business,
That's
who
correct.
are around you.
That's correct.
The prominent DMart promoter is not too far away. When passing by, saw
That's
the
correct.
Deputy Chief Minister and the Chief Justice all have their homes here.
So we've got both deputy CMs on either side.
Okay,
Yeah,
both of them. Okay, both of them are right here. Okay,
Yeah.
so this area, why choose this area?
Right. So, I'd also grown up here as a child, a few buildings away. And so that was one reason. But the real reason was that my daughter's school is 5 minutes away. So we thought, why don't, if we are moving and if we are staying on rent, we might as well stay close by. So that was the reason. And my sense is we would have seen about a dozen houses before we zeroed in on this one in various parts of Bombay.
Okay.
And the new gated buildings didn't really appeal to us.
Why is that?
They were too impersonal. That's what I felt.
So this garden over here.
Yeah, that's it. That's the best part of the house. I just think of it as an extension of the house.
Okay. So was this one of the factors that made you select this building or apartment? That this view?
Yeah, the view definitely made us select it. And I also wanted a place for the kids to play because most buildings don't really have any provision for that.
So basically you chose an old building, but you chose an old building very selectively that was probably ahead of its time because most buildings that are old in South Bombay, they just have a standalone structure.
Yeah. And also, with old buildings you get large size rooms, as you can see.
Yeah.
So,
after you told me the size, that's typically like the 4 BHK of new buildings.
Right.
In Mumbai.
Yeah.
Okay. So what part of this house gets used the most?
So, we have 2 rooms and a hall, and I think all of them get used equally. I would say the living room and the kids' room gets used the most.
Okay. What do you do in the living room? I can see your laptop over here.
Yeah, so there's some work. There's this couch. We don't have a TV, so the kids end up playing a lot here. We've sort of tidied it up.
You don't have a single TV?
No, we don't have a single TV at home. No.
And this is where Samar spends a lot of time writing and reading?
Reading, yes. Writing is on the desk inside. So,
okay.
Yeah.
But I can see you clearly like your comfort when it comes to your chairs and seats. This one as well as this one.
Yep.
Okay. So this part covers your living and dining room.
Yeah.
The dining table used a lot?
Yes, it's used a lot. It's very messy. It's been cleaned up, but it's used
I can see because of the size of the room, you've got 2 grand ACs here.
That's correct. Yeah.
The apartment came furnished?
No, the apartment was unfurnished except for air conditioners and geysers and things like that.
Okay. This part will be which part now? We'll enter your 2 grand bedrooms. If you're in case if Samar's living room is an indication, I think I'll see some good sized bedrooms over here.
Let's see. I'll wait for your verdict.
Okay, let's see that.
Come, let's move to part 2 of the house. Come.
Okay. This is a neat division that you have here between the rooms.
Yup. It makes for some peace and quiet.
Okay.
So come, let's take a look at this one. This is the kids' bedroom / playroom.
So tell me, Samar, as someone who's a financial writer, are your expectations and needs in an apartment very different from an common renter?
Well, so here my answer may disappoint you a bit because I'm not so sure my needs are that much different. Sure, somebody may prefer this, I may prefer something else. So you just want a house that's well lit, where there's no electricity issue, there's no water issue, largest rooms, good storage. So the needs are pretty simple. They're not rocket science. But it's amazing how many of the new builders don't get that right, because we saw some new constructions and my answer, I was thinking to myself, if I put a bed, I cannot put a cupboard. The rooms are that tiny.
Samar, right now, if he has to buy an apartment also, probably most buildings don't have the right product for him.
Because the room sizes are just too small. The ceilings are so low, so you get that sense of claustrophobia. Those are my 2 big issues.
Because in your living room as well as here, I notice you, of course, presumably read a lot with the type of books I saw. And your daughters also clearly are
right. She has a lot of books. Yeah, so you need space for a bookshelf at least. That's the bare minimum.
And I can see a lot of storage space over here as well.
That's correct. It's good storage space. Yeah. Come Vishal, up next is the master bedroom, or the bedroom that we spend our sleeping hours in.
I like this.
It is large, yeah, it is large. So in some of the newer buildings, this would be 2 bedrooms, very clearly. But we've got enough space for a bed, we've got enough space for a sitting thing. I work there on my table, and there's still more space.
And space for books and a fairly deep cupboard.
Yeah.
So this part, you said gets used a lot, right? It's bedroom of yours?
It does get used a lot, and because it's large, you can end up, the kids play here, to give you a sense. Once in a while, it's large.
So tell me overall, just when you look back, you said at the start that when you didn't know much about real estate, you were okay buying a home.
Right.
The moment you got to understand real estate, you said no point buying it. Did you have at any point, did you think that you made the wrong decision?
When I look back, I don't think it's been a wrong decision.
How much rent would you have paid from 2010 onwards?
Yeah, so we did this maths not too long ago. It was like 1.1 crores. Oh, but that's the last 12 years. So we were in a much smaller place earlier and then much larger places. So that's the cumulative amount.
So okay, for the last 12 years, you spent about 1.1 crores on rent.
Rent, yeah.
Many old-fashioned elderly people will say that if you spent 1.1 crore in your rent over so many years, may as well have just done that with an EMI. Stagger it over 10 years, 12 years.
No, but see, the maths there is not in your favor, because let's say if I'd bought a house, I'm just putting a number to it, okay? Let's say if I'd bought a house in 2011 or 2012 for, let's say, 2.5 crores, okay? So that amount would have been, you tell me, would have been what? Doubled? Or little less than double?
Which area would you say?
I would say, central Bombay, right? So,
I think, probably two and a half probably would be 4.5.
Yeah, it depends on which building, but let's just assume 4.5. So the question is, could I have done better with that money if I had invested it elsewhere? You also need to consider the fact that I would have had to put, say, 50 lakhs from my pocket, which I didn't have. I'd also have to take a loan of 2 crores with, let's say, a 20-year tenure, which would amount to 1.5, 1.6 lakhs a month as EMI, which I would have been paying for the last 12 years, and I would still have half the loan portion remaining. I'm just doing a very rough math. So the house would still not be mine. Okay, so you're talking about a capital value of 4.5 crores, but the house is still not mine. And versus that, of course, that money has been put in over the years, but have I done better than that? I think so. So the answer to that is yes. Okay, and I'm reasonably certain that whatever I put way back in 2011-12 has at least given me a 4-5x. That's a bare minimum.
But the last 12 years, your call of not blocking your capital in a house and putting it in investments, primarily equity, I guess.
No, primarily equity.
Okay, this is nice. This is a good. I think this is probably one of the biggest bedrooms I've seen.
Oh,
Okay.
you have? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest.
And I'm sure
bedrooms.
you've seen several. So.
Yeah, so I can. So I think clearly you found yourself a very very extravagant home. Are the bathrooms pretty much the same, or
The bathrooms are large, so you can take a look at them.
Wow.
Take them down. Yeah, sure.
Someone's clearly living life king size, in a way.
I don't know about king size, but it meets our needs, and I think that's the most important thing.
And next will be the other bathroom.
Yeah, sure. Come, take a look.
And this apartment you found it through a broker?
Yes. I've gone through brokers always, because although a lot of people think that they don't add value, I think they just remove a level of stress out of the system, because they do everything from the lease to the negotiations, etc., etc.
Okay. So this then completes, I think, most of your house, right?
Right.
All the rooms very grand.
Thank you.
Okay. Kitchen as well, very grand, big.
Kitchen is large as well. I mean, like all old style houses, a large kitchen, and it's got a small rest area for the house help and a restroom for them as well.
How much rent are you paying for this place?
So it's 1.7 a month.
1%. Okay. And a hefty deposit or the normal
The 3-month deposit.
3-month deposit?
Yeah.
That is that. Tell me, Samar, we are in this location where a lot of buildings have sea views.
Right.
Did you explore any building which had a sea view which worked for you?
We shall be on the first floor, so we have only the garden view, but as you go higher up, you do get a view of the sea as well. So if you like to take a look, come, let's take a look.
Okay, so Samar, this is it. This is the sea-facing
That's
zone
correct.
of yours.
That's right.
This thing did not charm you enough to take the plunge into renting an apartment facing the sea?
Well, the reason for that was our previous apartment had the sea view from every room. And so by the time we moved out, we were done with the sea view. And to be honest, you look at it for 1 month, you look outside for 1 month, 2 months, and then it's like any other view. You get bored of it. And beyond a point, there is nothing to see. It's just the waves. And sure, the sound of the waves is coming, but there's nothing beyond that. So we were done with the sea view. And I know that most people in Bombay aspire to have a sea view, but you should ask them the question once they're done with the sea view, once they moved out.
So basically, would you say that a sea-facing or a sea view apartment is overrated?
It is worth some premium, but not the kind of premium that developers charge these days. So it is worth some premium for sure.
So basically, the gap between a sea-facing and a sea view apartment is almost like 70-80%. Sea-facing,
chance.
right in front of the sea.
No chance.
Would someone like Samar who's lived both those lives, would you be okay?
No, nothing close to that. I'd say like maybe 10, 15, 20% is justified, but not the 70-80% that they charge.
Okay. I think you'll actually disappoint many prospective tenants and buyers who have that milestone aim that I want to live in a sea-facing apartment.
Yeah.
So Samar, sea-facing, all that's great. What's the weakness about being in this location?
So the one weakness is that since this is an area that's dominated by Gujaratis, you don't have any shops that sell egg or meat. Some shops sell egg, but meat is just not available, and some buildings are purely vegetarian as well. So this one isn't, and there are no restrictions at all over here. But that's not something I'm comfortable with. That's not something I support. That's not something I like. I mean, I'm okay with somebody not eating, but I don't want somebody telling me what to do. So that's one definite weakness.
So basically, if Samar wants to have a non-vegetarian meal, he'll have to be very picky to find a restaurant here.
There are no restaurants here that serve. You need to order, or you need to go a little far out.
What next for Samar? You said 2010 onwards, staying on rent, paying that 1.1 crore cumulatively in rent. How soon will you bite the bullet of actually taking the plunge and buying an apartment?
I think for the next 10 years I'll remain a renter, but at some point you do want to sort of settle down and not have to move, etc., etc. So I would say between year 10 and 20, I should think of settling down, even though if rental yields remain the way they are, and there is everything to suggest that they will, it could still be not the best economic decision, but at some point you need to bite the bullet.
Okay. But then, so basically, next 10 years on rent. After that, it's an open mind for Samar.
Yeah, that's correct.
Do you think your strategy? You said earlier that the strategy to not buy a home has worked in favor so far,
Right.
Because your investments outdid home prices. That's the hope you're counting on even going forward?
So I think, then it wasn't a conscious call, it was also by default because I couldn't afford it. I mean, when I look back, the house I wanted to buy then, I'm reasonably certain I could easily afford it today. And if I had to stretch for this house today, maybe a few years down the line, this is something that I could also think of affording.
So basically delaying the home purchase, letting money work for you, and then buying the home that you really wanted. That's the strategy.
I don't know what really wanted, but buying a home. Let's put it that way.
Okay. On that note, Samar, thank you for coming on the Tenant. Clearly, you're a hardline renter. But like you said, 10 to 20 years, that's your game for buying a home. All the best for that.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Time for the report card. This is one of the largest 2 BHK apartments in Mumbai, almost 1200 square feet. Building, old but sturdy. Location, this is one of the most expensive locations of India. It's home to the business as well as political elite. Connectivity, it's well connected by road to Nariman Point and Lower Parel. It doesn't have metro as well as rail connectivity at its disposal. All in all, if you're a person with a handsome budget, who has work in the Nariman Point to Lower Parel belt, is okay living in a premises without many glossy amenities, this is sort of location and project that can be considered. Are you looking for the perfect home? Stop looking around, scan the QR code and explore from thousands of rental properties, read resident reviews and make an informed decision with 99acres.com.